So this is a file which I took from the trajectory generation. I showed you that the UR5 follows, well, we are trying to make it to go from a certain start joint angle position to a certain end joint angle position. So this is the start position, and then the end position is really large rotations of each joint, and that's the end position. So that code can be, stop this. Okay, so that code can be generated by just turning on this flag. This is basically running the same code. Okay, so if you see where this function is called, it's called in the main loop. Should be here. Okay, so when you do trajectory generation, I use MuJoCoPy326, and then I need to get time to move forward, and then I set that to Q post Q val. Okay, this is basically no dynamics because MuJoCoPy326 only does the forward kinematics. That's it. What we want to do is to do MuJoCoPy. This is the controller. This is where we'll take the equations and integrate them. But we also need to specify a controller. So the controller here is specified right on top. So you call the controller, and then you call the MuJoCoPy. So the controller is here. What the controller is expected to do is it's supposed to send this particular, set this particular value, data.ctrl. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this data.ctrl. This is a special mode which I put this controller, the robot in. So if you go to the XML file, so this scene.torque file calls this file. I got the wrong software. Just close this. Okay, you can run this here. Okay, so the file is identical to the earlier UR5. The only difference being that actually the default available in UR5 is this position controller. Okay, so the input is positions, joint angles. I converted that to, they call motor, but it's really torque control. So I can specify torques now. So whenever I set data.ctrl to 5, that's 5 Newton meters. If I use position class and if I set data.ctrl is 5, that would be 5 radians. Okay, so data.ctrl is how you have told MuJoCo to handle the torque. So right now it's set to torque control. Okay, that's important. So I need to set the data.ctrl, and I have actually a bunch of things here. There's a simple PD controller, which is doing KP data, Q pose minus Q, Q val minus Q. Q and U are the reference. Q pose and Q val are the actual joint positions. And this is PD. This is a different controller, which we've not talked, but we'll talk about it in just a bit, next class maybe. So this is the controller we've talked about. Feed forward plus feedback, tau FF, tau FB. Tau FF is M pi, I use TMT, UD plus CG pi, and then tau FB comes from here. What I'm going to do now is change the mode. So it's no longer using the trajectory generation mode, but it is doing the tracking. So this is how you will actually deploy a robot. Okay, so now it's going to track that reference, and once it finishes tracking, it'll actually make some plots. And you can see it's moving kind of slow. Yeah, and the plots, these are the plots for joint angles or joint velocities, a function of time. So it's tracking where the dashed line is the reference, and then the other one is the actual value. So this is actually pretty slow. The reason why this is slow is because every single iteration cycle, you're computing these values, and they take time. In fact, you can check the time it takes to compute them by just running this. So here is the same code. Now it's going to print, but let's just quit it here, right here. So it's taking 8 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds, 7 milliseconds. And this is a control loop which runs for, I think it's 1 millisecond or something like that. I think it's in this variable op.time, so it's points it. So this is clearly slow. So what it's saying is that you will not be able to do this control in real time because it takes 6 milliseconds to control the robot or compute, make those calculations, but you're sending commands at 1 millisecond, right? It's a problem. So what you can do is, of course, one option is to move to compiled language like C instead of a scripted language like Python. But the other way you could do this is you could not try to update MC every single time instant. So what you can do is I'm just going to create a counter, a count. And I've already put global count. And then I'm just going to say if count mod 10 equal to 0. So only then do this calculation. And I have to, of course, increment the counter. Yeah, it's still slow because I'm printing the elapsed time, but let me quit this. Just look at this, zeros. Let's close this. Okay, you can see it's 0, 0, 0 seconds, but then it suddenly bips to 5 milliseconds because I'm only calling it once in every 10 milliseconds. Now I'm just going to get rid of this counter because I think it's slowing things down. And then just run this. So a little faster, right? Okay, so you can compare this. You can, if you remember this, we can do is we can reduce this to 1, which is it's doing a faster refresh rate. This is what it will do at normal speed. So we're waiting, waiting, waiting. It's slow. And then we just change that from every milliseconds to every once in 10 milliseconds. In fact, you'll get faster if you do 20, but then some point of time, you will not get good control. Let's close this. This and this. So let's change this to, let's go 20 and see if it's even faster. So it's going to update these matrices only once every 20 milliseconds. So much faster. And then the tracking is not bad at all. It's pretty good here.